Because it wasn't fair to limit him to the hours of 11 a.m. till 1 p.m., you can now enjoy Walt Bonetti whenever you want. The Walt Bonetti Podcast is on now.
Welcome to episode 24 of the Walt Bonetti Podcast for February 5th. The Walt Bonetti Podcast is brought to you by the Original Italian Pie of Kenner and Coppa Donut. On today's podcast, another day, another boil water advisory in New Orleans. Another day, another car goes into a Jefferson Parish canal. This time, it's a cop car. If you want to see your name on TV, President Trump has a deal for you. And a woman is jailed after hitting her boyfriend with a pork chop. But she was really just tenderizing it. But first, these quick hits. Well, it took a little over a month, but we had our first boil water advisory for 2019 in New Orleans yesterday. The boil water advisory was New Orleans' 17th since 2012, and, as expected, a political action committee connected to New Orleans Mayor LaToya Cantrell used the advisory to push for the mayor's scheme to get tourism tax dollars diverted back to the city. Of course, the PAC failed to mention that Cantrell, as mayor, is president of the inept Sewage and Water Board and was on the council for 8 years prior. She had opportunities to begin fixing this mess, but looked the other way, as Mitch Landrieu diverted grants and FEMA money by the billions from infrastructure to his own failed pet projects. Let's see. We've screwed up the police department. We've screwed up infrastructure. We've screwed up our streets. We've screwed up our drainage. What can we screw up next? How about tourism? They've got money. Let's take money from there and screw up tourism. The one golden carrot that New Orleans has. Let's screw it up. It's a little late, but the State of the Union address is tonight. President Trump will be preaching unity and raising campaign funds. The Trump campaign sent out an email telling supporters if they sent $1, just $1, their name could be scrolled across the screen as the president gives the address. The Trump campaign actually sent out 2 emails. In the first email, they wanted $35. Now it's down to $1. The email from the president's son, Eric, said, quote, "Even if you choose to only give $1, the proof of your support will send shockwaves around the world as they see every American who proudly stands behind our president." And here I thought Nancy Pelosi was going to be standing behind the president. How did I miss that? In addition to the president being on TV tonight, a New Orleans man, John Fole, will be on Jeopardy tonight at 6 p.m. on Fox 8. Fole is a landscaper by day. A driver collided with a JPSO deputy's vehicle early Monday morning, sending the JPSO car into the canal at Cleary and West Metairie Avenue. The driver and the deputy were transported to the hospital and treated and released. The maker of OxyContin, Purdue Pharma, is alleged to have discussed how the company could expand into the, quote, attractive market of treating opioid addiction. Yes, that's right. Big pharmaceutical companies want to sell you pills to get you hooked and addicted to drugs and then help you get off them. And then get back on them again. And then get back off. They'll make money at every turn and laugh all the way to the bank as the suckers keep paying up. Look, big pharmaceutical companies are nothing more than a neighborhood drug pusher on steroids. Literally. The billionaire Sackler family controls Purdue Pharma. Beginning in 2014, the family is alleged to have pushed for higher doses of OxyContin, guided efforts to mislead doctors and the public about the drug's addictive capacity, and blamed misuse of OxyContin on patients. Yeah, it's all our fault, right? The board of directors of Purdue Pharma also discussed other opportunities for OxyContin, including using it as a drug to treat erectile dysfunction. Look, if you ever want to cure the high cost of health care in America, you can start by doing 3 things. 1, reforming pharmaceutical companies and banning them from advertising. 2, allowing Medicare and Medicaid to bid out drug prices like everyone else can, but the government can't. And 3, installing full transparency in pricing for services, whether at a hospital or at a doctor's office, and coordinating that with insurance companies. Getting healthcare shouldn't be like buying gas at a crooked convenience store, where it's one price for cash and one price for credit. In healthcare, it's one price for cash and one price if you have insurance. It should not be that way. Why are we allowing drug makers and pharmacies and doctors and hospitals to rip off insurance companies and charge inflated prices when they wouldn't charge us that if we paid in cash? And now this. If you're thinking about what you're going to have for dinner tonight or lunch at the office, make sure you think about our friends at the Original Italian Pie of Kenner. The Original Italian Pie of Kenner has an extensive menu and they have incredible food. It's all freshly made for you when you order. No heat lamps at the Original Italian Pie. And they use the freshest possible ingredients. Whether you want an incredible salad, a sandwich, a wrap, a calzone, pasta, or pizza, you can find it all at the Original Italian Pie of Kenner. 3600 Williams Boulevard, just a little bit north of West Esplanade. You can dine in or call them, 469-4999, 469-4999, and they'll have your order ready for pickup, or they will deliver it to your home or your office. So whenever you're hungry, make sure you think about the Original Italian Pie of Kenner. For a while, I've been telling you about the great donuts at Capa Donut. Incredible, large, overstuffed filled donuts and mouth-watering glazed donuts. But Capa Donut now sells king cake, and they'll make one for you. You can call ahead, 305-4858, and they'll make it just the way you want it. You won't have to search through bins at the grocery store to find there's only lemon left. Get a king cake your way at Capa Donut, 2321 West Esplanade in the Kenner Market Center. Call them. Pre-order your king cake. Have it done your way. 305-4858. And remember, Capa Donut is great donuts and more.
I don't want to be a product of my environment. I want my environment to be a product of me.
Walt Bonetti.
Welcome back. Thanks again for spending part of your day with the podcast. LABI, the Louisiana Association of Business and Industry, is the latest to push for changes to ITEP, the state's industrial tax exemption program. Last year, LABI backed changes made by Governor Edwards, but now says the system is broken. One issue that I agree with LABI on is the potential for local inconsistencies among government entities that might approve local tax exemptions. For example, the New Orleans City Council has one set of criteria for granting property tax exemptions, while the Orleans Parish School Board has another. LABI wants a single point of contact within each parish to help companies wade through the rules. That's a great idea. Now, LABI also wants additional changes that I don't agree with. The governor lowered the maximum a local entity could exempt to 80%. LABI wants the 80% as a floor and not a ceiling. That is not a good idea. Local governments should be able to control local property taxes, period. A state board, a group like LABI, no one should have that say, but a local governmental entity. LABI argues that ITEP is necessary because of the state's, quote, unnecessarily complex tax system. Okay, then why isn't LABI pushing for real tax reform? If that is the problem, let's fix it. We all know it's the problem. Why can't we work on that? Louisiana should encourage businesses to come here and bring jobs. But too often, ITEP gave out millions in local tax exemptions to companies doing work they would need to do anyway to upkeep their facilities, and the tax breaks didn't result in any job creation. Companies like Exxon bled the system. Do we need ExxonMobil? Of course. But they need us too. They need our river. They need our ports. They need our Gulf. They need our location, and we need their jobs. And we need not just jobs, but good paying jobs. And that's the primary issue with the ITEP program. We need good high paying jobs, not just small additions to existing plants that then allow the entire property to be property tax exempted for another decade. Let me try to put this another way. If you own your home, you can qualify for a homestead exemption. If you add a pool, your property value increases, as does your property tax. But your homestead exemption stays the same. Why shouldn't it work that way for businesses too? If you come into an area and you build a plant and create jobs, and the local governing authority wants to give you property tax exemptions to lure you here, great. But if after you built that building and you built that manufacturing plant and you determine that you need another storage shed outside, why should we give you another property tax exemption for another 10 years or more? Especially when you're not creating any jobs. All tax exemptions, whether they're state income tax exemptions or local property tax exemptions, should be tied to jobs and wages. If you create jobs, if you create and you spend money in the local economy, then great. We want you. We'll bend over backwards for you. We'll give you whatever you need to help you grow and prosper. But you have to create jobs, and you have to create high-paying jobs. That's the bottom line. Should different government entities within a parish have different rules and criteria? Probably not. Should there be a single point of contact? Absolutely. Shouldn't that be a parish president or a mayor? But Louisiana and local governments can't afford to continue giving away everything to lure everybody without there being a return on our investment. And the only return that we need to quantify is job creation and wages. That's it.
Now, the Walt Bonetti Podcast Dumbass of the Day.
We're going overseas for our dumbass of the day. A 27-year-old Indian man is planning to sue his parents because they gave birth to him without his consent. Raphael Samuel of New Delhi said, quote, "I want to tell Indian kids that they don't owe their parents anything. I love my parents and we have a great relationship, but they had me for their joy and their pleasure." Yeah, what parent wouldn't be proud of their son for suing them? And how can you seek the consent of something that doesn't exist? Look, I would give almost anything to kiss my mother right now or to hug my dad. Maybe that's something that this guy should think about. A Brooksville, Florida woman is in jail after deputies say she hit her boyfriend with a frozen pork chop. 48-year-old Jennifer Brassard got into an argument Friday night around 9:45 p.m. She threw the pork chop at her boyfriend, striking him on the eyebrow and causing a half-inch laceration. She fled, but was apprehended Saturday and charged with domestic battery and abusing a nice piece of pork. Well, that does it for today's podcast. Thanks again for listening. Make sure you support our great sponsors, the Original Italian Pie of Kenner, 3600 Williams Boulevard, just a little bit north of West Esplanade. You can dine in or call them, 469-4999, and they'll have your order ready for pickup, or they will deliver it to your home or your business. And Coppa Donut. Coppa Donut is now selling king cakes. Call them, 305-4858, and pre-order the king cake that you want your way. Coppa Donut, great donuts, and more. As we tell you every day, please go out and be a blessing. Change someone's life today, or change your own. You can do it. Thanks again for listening.
Walt Bonetti.